Hey, kid. I miss you, son.
Your son is dead.
No. Kylo Ren is dead. My son is alive.
You're just a memory.
Your memory. Come home.
It's too late. She's gone.
Your mother's gone. But what she stood for, what she fought for, that's not gone. Ben,
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
you do.
Dad.
I know.
Welcome, Masters and Padawans, to episode 609 of Full of Sith. With you as ever, it's me, Bryan Young, the host of the show, and with me, as ever, the redoubtable, ready to travel Holly Frey.
Woo! Yes. I have just confided to Bryan and now everyone listening that I'm about to be on my last big trip of the year, theoretically, and I'm a little frantic.
Yeah.
I've been
Um,
traveling nonstop since August, and now my brain is just like, girl, you know what you should do? Lie down. And I'm like, we can't yet. We can't yet. We got a bunch of stuff we got to do first.
but one of the things we've got to do first is talk about the hunt for Ben Solo.
Yeah.
Um, last week the news kind of broke, but we were busy talking about Star Wars Vision Season 3, which I've watched again since last week, and I just love it even more.
Just keep watching Black over and over.
Um, yeah, no, it's been sticking with me, especially like um, there's a couple episodes that have been sticking with me, but
Yeah.
um, especially the one with Billy, the bear.
Yeah.
That one's just been adorable. I really like it. But
It is very sweet.
um the uh the Hunt for Ben Solo news was
Yeah.
a little bit of a shock. And we talked about it and it had broken just sort of like as we were recording almost practically.
Yeah, like within what, like 90 minutes or something before we started talking about our planned coverage.
Yeah. And we decided more news about it was probably going to come out, so it would probably be better to just hold off anyway
Yeah.
and see what else came out because that first day after a big news story like that breaks, a lot of stuff can be wrong anyway. Not to say that anything about the story that broke initially was wrong or anything got misreported per se, but that's a tendency of media.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, which by the way, I think there are a lot of perfectly fine media outlets that aren't intentionally doing anything. They're trying to piece it together the same way we are. And sometimes that's going to lead to some incorrect assumptions or ideas. It just is.
Yeah. Um, there's a race. This is something that's just sort of like basic, um, basic, media literacy is that a lot of times people and outlets that race to get first on stories often they sacrifice that need to be first for accuracy.
Yeah.
Again, that's not maybe anything that happened with this Ben Solo story because a lot of this started with an interview with the Associated Press that Adam Driver did. It was the leaks of little bits of information afterward that a lot of outlets said, like, holy crap, I'm finally printing this because I've been sitting on this little detail or bits of news for the last 6 months or a year that I'd heard. Um, and those are the things that sort of like needed some time to percolate and verify and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just generally something to keep in mind with media. Wait for the story to sort of finish before you jump on and worry about finding out what's going on, right? Especially in these days of AI. I've seen so much uh, I've seen so many things happen where people go, holy crap, something's going on, and they share a video, and you go on the video, and the video literally says it has a burned in logo that says like AI or Sora or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and it's like you did not investigate this at all. You literally just looked at the thumbnail of this video and did not investigate further at all.
Yeah.
So be wary, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to turn this into a lecture about that, but it's just something that's bugging me.
And I also want to say, like, I also understand that for people that love this character, it's very exciting and they want to talk about it. So I don't want it to sound like we're trying to denigrate that excitement.
No, we're not. And
Yeah.
this story's true. This
Yeah.
story is true and absolutely we just wanted to give it some time to settle so that we had all the details.
Yes.
That was all because some of the details were going to be accurate and some might not have been and we just wanted to make sure we were good to go.
Yeah.
So, the story is that for those of you who haven't heard the story, or those of you who only heard partial versions of the story, in 2020, 2021 or so, Steven Soderbergh and Adam Driver developed a Star Wars film called The Hunt for Ben Solo, quietly under the code name Quiet Leaves. This is something that they did in tandem with Disney and Lucasfilm. They had artists working on it, working in the blue sky phase of art and development. They hired a screenwriter named Scott Z. Burns, who was paid more money than a screenwriter had ever been paid by Lucasfilm to complete a script for a Star Wars movie. And he had actually been one of the early screenwriters that they had hired for rewrites for Rogue One. And he did uncredited work on Rogue One before Tony Gilroy had come on board. During this development phase, apparently Kathy Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and Carrie Beck were all directly involved and very excited about the drafts that had come in. And for those that don't know, Steven Soderbergh is like, he's a very ambitious and interesting filmmaker. I mean, he's one of the filmmakers that made Terrence Stamp one of my favorites, more so even than the Superman movies. More so, well, I mean, like, obviously Phantom Menace made him one of my favorites also, but like The Limey is such a good movie.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, he's one of those people. I'm about to say weird words. Come with me on the
Holly,
journey.
that's just your MO. I'm with you on the journey. Please take me
Um,
there.
he is, in a way, a director I think about the same way I think about as Ang Lee, um, who is not tied to any given genre, like that has worked all over the spectrum and will presumably continue to, and like doesn't. I mean, when you look at his credits,
Yeah.
they are all over the map. I mean, Sex Lies and Videotape, you were probably too young for when that hit,
Oh no,
but
I
I
was definitely too young for when it hit, but like I love that movie.
right, it
Like
came out like in my senior year of high school and I was like super getting into independent film. And so it hit so hard and I just remember being like this is a very interesting person. But then all of his subsequent stuff, right? I mean, he has directed some really incredibly fun movies. Ocean's 11 is his. Aaron Brockovich was also his, so he's also done like prestige things. Um,
I think Out of Sight is a really underrated
oh, it's so
Elmore
good.
Leonard adaptation. I think George Clooney's terrific in it.
Yeah, agreed.
Um, I think The Limey, I don't know why The Limey is not talked about more. It's such a terrific revenge picture. It's a little out of the ordinary, and Terrence Stamp's performance and Luis Guzman's, like,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yes.
Peter Fonda in that movie as well. Like all three of them are sublime in that movie, and it's just so good. He did Solaris with George Clooney,
Yeah.
which is again another fantastic motion picture. I mean, that movie is sci-fi done right, and I think maybe it got um I don't know, it got the short end of the stick a little bit. Um because people had compared it to the earlier iteration of it, and maybe I don't know if people saw it as too cerebral, I don't know. Um
And then there's Magic Mike.
I don't know. One of my favorite experiments of
I,
his.
I like how you're just not engaging with that information.
No, no, I'm not. Um,
I mean, but it is to make my point that I bring it up that
oh yeah, no.
he can literally make a movie like Logan Lucky that is like a weird screwball nutty
Which
comedy
I
and
mean,
also Magic Mike,
Logan
very close to one another.
Logan Lucky actually has a lot to do with the story actually because the story was developed with the screenwriter of Logan Lucky, who is his wife, who was one of the people developing the story for Hunt for Ben Solo.
Yeah.
Um, but he really immerses himself in the filmmaking style of the movies that he's making. One of my favorites, which I ultimately think was a little bit of a miss, um, and I can explain why I think it was a little bit of a miss, but I don't know if you've seen a movie he did um, close to 20 years ago called the Good German, with George Clooney and Kate Blanchett.
I did see it. It has been a very long time since I've seen it. Tobey Maguire was also in it, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
So I haven't I that is not a film I could speak about with any kind of insight.
it's filmed in black and white. It was based on a really good book, and it's sort of this neo-noir World War II film sort of built around the Potsdam Conference. Um, and Clooney was really terrific in it, and Soderbergh really wanted to make a classic period World War II movie, and so he went and got classic period cameras from that era and classic period like film stock from that era, so it had all of that authentic look. And for me, ultimately, the reason I kind of felt like it was a misfire is that it had all the look and feel of these movies, but then he went and made the script like very rated R, so like it felt like it had this mismatch where it had all of the vibe, but like
The
it
content
felt
was nothing those cameras normally would have shot.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe I should go back and revisit it, which is something I do occasionally with movies that I was really excited about and then felt like were a miss. And it turns out about half the time they turn into my favorites. Like Robert Zemeckis' What Lies Beneath was one of those where I was like, I left the theater so mad, and now it's one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
Um,
I keep losing you.
oh,
You just go silent for a second, and then you come back and you have clearly continued to talk.
well, I was saying, um, every once in a while, can you hear me again?
Yeah.
Okay. Every once in a while, like there's a movie that I'll see when it comes out 20, 25 years ago, and I absolutely hate it, and then take 10 or 15 years off of it, or maybe 20, and then go like, there was something there about it, and then come back to it and then go, oh wow, I was an idiot. Like that movie was terrific. And like Robert Zemeckis' What Lies Beneath was one of those where like now I love that movie and watch it all the time.
Have you ever watched the director's commentary on that?
I haven't, but I
It's
should.
spectacular. It's truly
Um,
spectacular. Any Zemeckis director's commentary is really interesting if you love film. They're all like a masterclass in making film because he'll talk very openly about literally all the technical details of how he puts together a shot, how he directs actors, how he like frames up storyboards all together and where like flow changes for him. Like he's so open about his process, which is so incredibly, exacting that it really, I think for anybody that loves film, I highly recommend those.
yeah, yeah. No, um it the thing about Soderbergh, though, kind of getting us a little bit back on track because I think we
What?
could take, well, I know, but I think we could take this tangent off for an entire hour, and I know we both could. Especially Zemeckis, because my initial reaction was like, you know what I just watched for the first time is Death Becomes Her, which is a Zemeckis film that I think people forget is a
Yeah,
Zemeckis film. And it's
yeah.
like one of like the best ILM films for effects and this and that. Um but Soderbergh is all over the place and he really dedicates himself to the craft of the movies he's making. And if everybody at Lucasfilm was that daffy about the screenplay and the
Oh, it
concept of,
happened again.
oh man.
You
Um,
just you blip out completely. It's like you just go away.
huh. Because on my end, it shows that like my levels are good and I'm just recording.
I don't know what it is then. Maybe it's me?
I don't know because you sound great.
Well, do you want to go back and start that thought over
Yeah.
again so my interaction
Um,
doesn't? I'll just roll with it from here.
okay. The thing about Soderbergh though is that, like he's one of those filmmakers that can kind of just handle anything and if Lucasfilm really believed in the script, and Adam Driver was on board and everybody was excited about it. Like I can't imagine it. And he pours himself into the technique of filmmaking the way whatever film he's going to make needs to be made. And he's
Yeah.
created some really great films. I can't imagine this would be a misfire.
No, I mean, he is one of those directors that is, I don't want to say he's a chameleon because that doesn't have the gravity of his skill level and his ability to switch genres. You know what I mean? It sounds a little too glib. He's just like an incredibly solid,
He's
accomplished filmmaker.
he's a film like polyglot.
Yes, that's a much better way to put it.
Um, he just speaks many languages of film where like Alfred Hitchcock was a thriller filmmaker and he could speak the language of thrillers better than anyone, right?
Yes, but he
And
had fluency in no other areas.
yeah, and Soderbergh has fluency across the board in genre.
Yep, I'd agree.
Um, so that was exciting. That Soderbergh was a name I'd never have thought of in connection to Star Wars, and the idea that him and Adam Driver were hanging out, going like, "Hey, let's bring Ben Solo back to life," and then Disney was like, or not Disney, Lucasfilm was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it. Here, let's throw money at it. Let's
Mhm.
put artists on top of it. Let's um, put staff hours on it and let's get it going." and they did it, and they were close on it. And this is kind of the stuff that surprised me, is that
Was how far down the path it was.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they were quote ready to shoot before they presented it to Disney. And so my understanding of the relationship between Lucasfilm and Disney prior to this is that Lucasfilm does what Lucasfilm wants. Lucasfilm produces stuff and Disney distributes it, and that's how my understanding of it was. And it sounds like that was what Disney's understand or Lucasfilm's understanding of it was.
Right.
And they were ready to shoot, and they kind of sent it off to Disney, and Alan Bergman and Bob Iger took a long time to read it and then came back and said, "No, don't do this. We
Right.
don't understand it."
I have a theory.
Go ahead.
Because the thing was, the way it's been discussed, it's like they didn't get it, which they might not have. But I also wonder, here is why I think Disney may have had more say than they normally would, and why they would have been like, I don't think this is going to work, is the parks. I feel like, love it or hate it, right? For the most part, until recently, it's gotten a little wigglier. But Batu is set in a very specific time period, which includes Ben Solo as Kylo Ren in his Kylo Ren form. And I just wonder if that's not a factor. If they were like, I don't know how we would do this, and I don't know how we can let this story exist, and what happens in the park, and people will want something about this in the part. Like, I think that might have been a factor in why they were like, I don't think this works. Um, do I think it could have worked if they wanted to make it work? Yes, of course. But I feel like that was probably their knee jerk that was like, no, we're already on the struggle bus with this. So that's my theory.
I uh I think they screwed up. I think they screwed up bad. And I think that um the fact that it's come out now and people are really clamoring for it. I mean, I haven't seen the Star Wars fandom like this sort of like, holy crap, this sounds terrific, like united behind that in a long time.
Right.
Like, and I think this kind of goes to show now that we're 10 years out of Force Awakens that a lot of that like, oh man, guys, the sequel trilogy sucked, like is going away.
Yeah, I
Um
mean, I don't know that it's going away. Those people still exist, but we've learned to like curate our
maybe it's because I'm
experiences
not
with
maybe
fandom
it's because I'm
better.
not on the Nazi Twitter platform anymore.
Yeah, samesies.
Um and so I just don't see like
I'm sure there are still people saying exactly those kinds of things. But I am with you though. I have seen so many people that are like, "Damn, I really would like to see this movie."
yeah, no. Well, and like even film nerds, I think well, see, this is where I see it where usually in on like film blue sky, right? Where people are like, the sequel trilogy was kind of a disappointment. That group of blue sky, right?
Yeah.
We're like, holy crap, Steven Soderbergh and Adam Driver were going to make
Yeah.
a movie. Show it to me, right?
Yeah, I mean that's it's interesting for me personally because as we know, and again, I'm please no one come with the pitchforks. I have no grace in my heart for Kylo Ren slash Ben Solo. None. And my initial reaction was, meh, we don't need this movie. Again, I should say I don't need this movie. Other people I know want it and I want them to have whatever they want. But it was the Soderbergh of it that made me go, oh, maybe I do need this movie.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, like Soderbergh would have, I mean, like, the Hunt for Ben Solo, the Limey style. I don't know. Like, if you haven't seen the Limey, just go see get the Limey.
Just
Um,
stop listening to us and go see it right now.
yeah. Um, but this actually spurred a lot of fans to kind of pull some really interesting maneuvers outside of Bob Iger's wherever Bob Iger was going to be at one point. Some fans put together a sort of airplane situation that had one of those like tail banners that said, something to the effect of "Give us the hunt for Ben Solo" or something like that.
Yeah, haven't
And
there have been some billboards?
yeah, like, and not just like cheap ones, like they've been in Times Square,
Yeah.
places that were very high profile and getting a lot of traffic, really places that would tell Disney, like, how dare you, sirs? Um, which is great, right? Like, cool. I would really love to see this movie, and I think um Steven Soderbergh and Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy was reported to have said in a number of the articles that this was the first time and only time in the history of the Lucasfilm and Disney partnership that Disney had canceled a project on them. And Steven Soderbergh had confirmed that that's what she had told him on Blue
Right.
Sky as well, and that's why I think everybody was sort of like, "Whoa."
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's a weird set of circumstances to be sure.
because like that can't feel good. Like, hey, we think we know what we're doing and we're really top-notch creatives here. And then to have Alan Bergman go, "Yeah, I don't understand how he'd be alive." And it's like, it is Star Wars, man.
Don't you know he pulled together a bunch of trash to make himself some legs?
Like the movie that you're complaining that this character might have died in features the line, "Somehow Palpatine returned." You're
Yeah.
complaining that the logic doesn't work?
Yeah.
Like, and like you I don't know, just as a story executive, if I were those guys and I saw Adam Driver actually play Ben Solo at the end of that movie, the thing I would be most upset about is that we never actually got Adam Driver to play the son of Han Solo, right? Like those moments that he actually got to emulate Harrison Ford, he's so good in.
I mean, Adam Driver is a spectacular actor.
Yeah.
So that there's kind of no getting around that aspect of it.
And to see him unleashed as like maybe a good guy that's the son of Han and Leia, even just that possibility, even just opening that possibility, maybe that's not this movie, but opening the possibility that we could get that later down the line instead of just leaving him dead, that seems like leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
It just seems foolish. Like
Yeah.
honestly, when I saw that he died in Rise of Skywalker, that was one of the big things um I was kind of curious about in the movie, or as I left the movie for the first time, it felt like it was closing doors on storytelling potential in the future that that didn't feel like they needed to be closed. Um, and that was one of the big ones. And here you've got Steven Soderbergh, one of the great filmmakers of our time, saying, "I'd like to open that door for you." And you've got Lucasfilm saying, "We've come up with a reasonable, clear, sound storytelling method to do it." And then Disney going like, "I don't get it, kid."
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Um, I'm telling you, I think the parks were a factor. Um, because presumably if he were alive, that would also change things for other characters, including Ray, who's part of the parks. And I know that they were already kind of having, the moment where the parks are happening is before Rise of Skywalker. And I know there has been, not from people like us that devour every spoonful of Star Wars there is, but from like a more general um the casual fan base or like park goers, that there has been some struggle with them even understanding that it is a moment frozen in time, even though that's how all the parks work. Like every story that you encounter in a Disney park is that character's story in one moment of their thing. It's not like it develops along with them. And I know there have been issues with guests being like, I thought Kylo Ren was dead. So I think I really think that was probably a factor. Whether they disclose that or not is another thing. But I could see them being like, we can't even get on top of what happened in the last movie. If we introduce another, then we have to keep up with storytelling in the parks, which again, I think is doable, but I think it takes more effort than they probably wanted to put into it.
But I guess like, do Bob Iger and Alan Bergman care that much about how like the cast members at Galaxy's Edge have to talk to guests?
I think you're already too deep into the weeds of it. In the broadest strokes, they're like people don't get the park. They don't get the storyline aspect of the park because more story happened after this moment. How are we ever going to keep educating people if we keep adding things that contradict this part of the story or
I
seemingly
mean,
do? You know what I
they're
mean?
the ones that are polluting it with like, let's throw Boba Fett in there. Let's throw this in there. Let's throw that in there. Let's change this ride to add Mando and Grogu. Like the
I don't
like
disagree with you, but again, I think that's probably part of the decision-making process. I'm not saying it's the correct decision, but I'm saying I bet that was a big part of why they were like, no, thank you.
it's so weird. I mean, like it's so weird. Like if they got three more movies with Adam Driver, don't you think that between merchandise and box office and whatever appearances they would get out of him or whatever storytelling potential they could get from him out of the parks would be worth more than going, yeah, guests asked Ray about, I don't know.
Again, I don't even I think you're too deep into the details already. It's not guests had this specific experience. It's guests going, I don't understand this park. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess is that is that a thing that they don't
Yes.
understand it?
Yes. Listen, I have told the story on this show before of like the person who walked up to a cast member who was a Batuan and said, "Where do I find Darth Vader?" And he said he's been dead for 30 years. And they were completely confused and didn't understand that the park is, its own moment and that Darth Vader is not alive then. And so I think for the idea that Ben Solo would exist in a state of simultaneity because Kylo Ren sells stuff. Like that imagery of him is very popular, the way Vader is very popular. And so to have Kylo Ren exist in the same universal space as Ben Solo is too much for them to figure out. I don't think it is actually too much to be figured out. It is too much for them to figure out.
Which is
That's what I'm
funny
saying.
because it wouldn't even be their job to figure out either. They would just have to point at some people and go, figure that out. Right? I mean, like,
Right, but that also is a resource allocation thing. There's a money factor of
yeah.
like we have to shift gears on this. Will we shift gears on something like Smuggler's Run to make it Mando and Grogu? Hell yes, that baby makes money. You know what I mean? It's like a solid, proven thing that it would make money. They didn't introduce those characters until they were wildly popular already. I really think this is the key to the whole decision process.
It's so weird that, like, the theme park would be
It is. That's where they're
dictating.
making the most money.
I don't know. It's just like weird to think that the theme park is dictating artistic decisions.
Well, I mean, I think that is a broad strokes way to put it. I mean, the executives that are making these decisions are the ones dictating things, and they're invoking the theme park to do it. But that doesn't, you know what I mean? You're kind of putting the blame on the wrong spot at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, even them using it as a scapegoat, it's like their priorities are however they are however they are whatever decision making they're using, whatever their chart of decision making is
Money.
to turn down an artist like Steven Soderbergh and Kathy Kennedy and Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck and Adam Driver to say, no, we don't want to let you make this piece of art is flawed.
Well,
Whatever their
maybe.
reasoning for it
It's
is.
it's dollars. I guarantee you it's dollars. It's overhead related to making changes in the parks. That's all it is.
And that's flawed, in my view. I guess I understand movie
Again, I
making's a
don't disagree,
business.
but that is where they are making their money right now. Movies have not been making them money the way they used to. Um, you know, but the parks are consistently making cash.
I wonder, I've heard attendance is down in Florida because of all of
But
the,
everything costs more, so they're making money.
oh, like, is that it? It's just like they just keep jacking up the prices to make up for the lack of attendance because of,
I actually think there's a dual there's an inverse of that also playing out where it's like, well, people are complaining about how packed the parks are because they do get unconscionably packed at times. So like if we, play with the slider and figure out how much money will reduce park attendance by 10%, we'll still have the same amount of money coming in, and the people that are there will feel like it was a better experience, so there's a value add and they will come back.
yeah.
I mean, those are the kinds of things that happen in any theme park. That's not a
Yeah,
Disney
no,
is
I
evil
know.
thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that's a factor for sure. Although I will say, every time I hear attendance is down, then I'm in a park and it's shoulder to shoulder people, and I'm like,
Yeah.
where is
Well,
the
no,
attendance down?
I'd heard some of what I'd read that some of what Florida's Surgeon General is doing is sort of having an effect with removing vaccine mandates for all school children in Florida was having an effect on Disney.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't noticed that yet. I mean, I have been on a couple of day trips, and I was down there just a couple weeks ago. Um, and I haven't noticed it, but I also, I mean, I won't even go to Magic Kingdom very often anymore. It is always consistently too crowded, and it's just too much. I will like run in for special events, ride Haunted Mansion and run back out sometimes because I'm just kind of overwhelmed. But um so some of my stuff could be skewed because I'm in places like Batu, which tend to stay. I mean, Batu always feels busy to me. I'm never lucky enough to be there when I'm like, oh, today's a quiet day in the park. It always
Yeah.
feels slammed.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like it seems like the Disney parks, unless they build like a third American park, is never going to reduce uh the demand. I had just read an article saying that like it was reducing attendance, so I was wondering about your experience with that, but it
Um,
doesn't sound as though
I mean,
that's
like
the
I said,
case.
yeah, I don't know. I haven't done a thorough, you know what I mean? I feel like the last several times I have gone, I have been like in one place. It hasn't been where I've been like there for the week and I'm hitting all the parks and seeing how they all vibe out. Like I haven't been to Epcot in a minute just because I've been going for a lot of day trips, or I'm either like in Batu or I'm there. I was working on a wedding dress for someone, so I was there doing fittings on her wedding dress, and then we'd like go grab a bite at like Disney Springs or something. So, and Disney Springs always feels packed to me, but
No
like I
price of
said,
admission there though either.
right. And there are a lot of good restaurants there. Also, the Halloween menu at Jock Lindsay's spectacular. Um, yeah, so I haven't noticed, but I have tended to be in places that are probably skewed in terms of attendance in that time, right? Like I was on Batu on the 19th. That was the day after HalseyCon. So like everybody that had been to that con was
Yeah.
also in the park. Um, so it was pretty busy. The one time that I was like, huh, this isn't as busy as I would expect is we went to Brown Derby for lunch that day. And I'm used to seeing it a little more packed than it was. And it felt not as busy. And that might be a place where people are saving money by not going into, the kind of slightly pricier sit down restaurants. That's my only guess there.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how much the free fall the economy is in and stuff like the vaccines in Florida are going to start affecting that kind of stuff, if at all.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this too. If you think about the timing, I think if they have had a fall off, it's probably not there yet in the levels it's going to be because there are people that had already like
Paid
prepaid a
and
hotel, right? So they're probably going to be like, "Ooh, we've already put so much money. We lose, so much money if we cancel this late." They may have chosen to go ahead and go, but in terms of bookings going forward, we may see a drop off. In which case, then they'll be like, "I don't care. Make any movie you want. We'll make it work." Um, but I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
We ended up in Park Talk yet again.
Well, I mean that's where
All
I
my
mean
fault.
you brought us here.
I know, I really do think that's probably a factor. And maybe I'm completely bananas and they're like, we don't give a crap about that. But to me, that's the one thing that I don't want to say it makes sense like, oh, good call, guys, but it makes sense in terms of like I could see them picking that as their logic flow.
Yeah, I mean like the reason stated from all the accounts from Bergman was that he just didn't understand how Ben Solo could be alive,
Right.
which again is just like, well, that's why you're the Disney executive and the Lucasfilm folks have people to do that thinking for you. And if they say it's cool, you just need to trust them.
Right.
Um, you know, because I mean, like, if Kathy Kennedy comes and says, "My people say the thinking on this is sound," like, who is Bob Iger and Alan, who are Bob Iger and Alan Bergman to say like, "Yeah, we don't believe you,"
Mm.
you know, like why? What makes them Star Wars
And
experts?
that's kind of why I think it's a Parks thing. That
Yeah,
is kind of why I think.
I can't even imagine the shock in the Lucasfilm offices
Right?
of them going like, wait, they said no? Like they can do that?
Yeah,
So weird.
it is weird.
Do you think there's a chance that all of the public pressure and head scratching over this could revive the project? I know Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh have said like, no, as far as we know, is shelved and dead, which is why they've actually felt comfortable talking about it
Right.
is that they felt their NDAs have expired.
Yeah, I don't know. Because on the one hand, I mean it's hard to predict because I think it just depends on how that information in terms of like, people making a noise or whatever is perceived by Bergman and Iger, right? If they're like, these are just a small handful of angry people, um, maybe. I mean, this is where I get down to the thing that I always say that's not popular, but like if you ask a casual fan about this, most of them don't know about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So they may think that it may not move the needle the way that people hope it will. I mean, I certainly would love for it to, and for them to be like, oh, okay, we misjudged this. Maybe this is worth considering. Let's go ahead and try it. But I don't know.
It's not like everybody's canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions and Jimmy Kimmel numbers,
Right.
which was enough to get them to move the needle.
Right. But that is a very different beast than
Yeah.
than a Star Wars movie about a character that the general casual fan also thinks is deceased and may not grasp it either, even though, the story as planned may be amazing and completely clear on that. It's in the abstract, I think it might be hard to get casual fans behind.
it's weird. It seems like Disney's
I
just
mean,
sort of made.
I worry that if it happened, there might be more kissing, but that's my own personal problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could cope.
Could I?
Yeah, I mean, you could either like maybe there's no kissing, or
Maybe.
B, you watch it to find out, and then you start noting time codes or cues to
Right.
either leave the theater for the bathroom break or whatever.
It did actually cause me to have like a little bit of a soul searching moment, right? Because I always tell people, like, if you don't like it, don't watch it. And with the popularity, right, we're getting the first Star Wars romance novel, which I'm not into, but I'm very excited for everybody that is. And then something like this, it really made me go like, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument that they do make a Star Wars movie that is essentially a romance. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna behave?
I mean, I don't think Steven Soderbergh's the guy who's going to give us the romance.
Well, I don't either, but I think if they bring Ben Solo back in some way, if they were to, that would be a logical next step for something for some sort of, denouement on the unfinished business of him and Rey being so connected. And I know a lot of people would be very excited for that, which I don't want to deprive them of. But I'm just for me, I'm like, how would I react to that? Would I be like, okay, I guess I just don't go to this one Star Wars thing, or do I go just to have seen it? And then
Is it them specifically? Because I can't imagine you skipping Empire because Han and Leia kiss.
that is exactly how much romance I can handle in a movie.
Uh-huh.
That's it. That's the limit.
But I can't imagine you skipping Attack of the Clones either because Anakin and Padme kiss.
There may be some busyness in the room
Yeah, but that's
when
not
I'm
skipping the movie.
I don't. But like, presumably, if there were an actual romance film, a film that were very much about romance, right? Like, I mean, I have said on this show before that the thing that got me around the Anakin and Padme kind of clunky romance is realizing, oh, neither of them has any game, and so then it feels very, you
Childish.
know, yeah. So it doesn't bother me as much at that point. And Han and Leia, that's exactly as much as we ever get. Hugs, great. I don't know why I'm such a weird prude about that. I'm not in life, and in anything else, I'm like, that's totally fine. I don't love romance movies, but I really, really have a weird, like, not awesome reaction to romance in Star Wars. I mean, I know why, but it's my own thing. So,
Yeah, yeah, I can't imagine Steven Soderbergh turning it up for this film, though.
no, no, I know you missed the
Yeah.
part where I
No,
said
no,
I
no, I
wouldn't
know.
think
You said it would be opening the door to other stuff. But and I get that, but that would not diminish my excitement for this film.
no. Well, and also as we know, I'm not a Ben and Kylo fan in general. I think Adam Driver is wonderful, but I didn't finish the sequel trilogy going, I want more of that character. Um,
I did in that I wanted more of the version of the character that wasn't um manipulated by Palpatine. I was interested to find out how Adam Driver would play the son of Han Solo and Princess Leia without being manipulated by the dark side.
yeah, I hear
And
you.
and I think Steven Soderbergh could give that to us. And I think it sounds like Adam Driver was interested in playing that version of the character too,
Yeah,
and might have been what he signed up for and never got.
that's true. That's a good point.
Because I mean, when somebody comes and says, "Hey, we'd like you to play the son of Han Solo and Princess Leia," you kind of have an expectation of what that might be. And what we got is not what that expectation was. So I don't know. I can imagine why he'd want another bite at that apple.
Sure.
I don't know. I just want more Star Wars. It almost doesn't even matter what it is. It's like we're gonna do a third Ewok adventure, and I'm like, cool, sign me up.
Listen, I'm still not over the loss of the Guillermo del Toro pitch.
Oh
So,
man.
that's really where my heart lies, where I feel like, justice was not served.
Well, I heard so one of the things that came out from this too is that David Fincher had made a pitch, and it never really made it beyond that. But David Fincher had wanted to do one too, which could have been interesting. Um, David Fincher's one of those directors like Soderbergh that has a lot of talent across a lot of different genres.
Yeah, I
Um,
love Fincher.
and I know he hates it, and he's wrong to hate it, and he probably hates the experience of it more than he hates the movie, I'm assuming, and just can't separate the two. But his director's cut of Alien 3 is really, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
He doesn't,
I know.
but
But
I
that's not
think,
for him to decide. That's for the audience to decide.
yeah, I agree. Um, so I know he does the sci-fi stuff well, and I know he does tension really well, and I know he does everything really well. I mean, like, I will watch his stuff almost no matter what. Like, I don't know if you watched Mank, but
Yes.
Mank was so good.
I mean, listen, I'm a Fight Club girl in my heart. I love that movie desperately. Um, which I'm always a little reticent to say because, as I have learned over the years,
Well,
there are a
there's
lot
a
of people
whole,
who took away a very
yeah,
different message from Fight Club than I
I was
thought anybody could ever come away with.
I was gonna say Fight Club has two distinct groups of fans, the fans who understood it and then the fans who very, very, very blatantly misunderstood it and will never understand
Like,
how badly
took
they
the long
misunderstood
route
it.
to miss the point. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um,
and I that was one of those movies I loved when it came out, and I just watched it a few months ago, um, recently, and yeah, no, there's some really good stuff in there, and um, Fincher just knows how to put a movie together, even if it's just an Aaron Sorkin talking script like Social Network or um,
yeah.
he brought us Kristen Stewart with Panic Room. Um,
He is so extraordinarily good at playing tension in a way
yeah,
that is not boring. Like, anybody can get a scene to a tense place, but to maintain it and give it nuance and sculpt it into something that is more than just conflict is a totally different skill.
yeah. Um, oh, and Benjamin Button too. I really liked that. I know some people were very iffy about it, but I really liked it.
I'm gonna tell you a thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I
I
like
have
it.
no reason not to. I'm not like I don't want to watch that movie. It's one of those movies. You know how there are always those movies that kind of slip through the cracks where you like don't catch them when they first come out,
Yeah.
and then you're like I'm gonna go back to that at some point, and then other stuff comes along, and then you're like, damn, I never have watched that movie. That's Benjamin Button for me.
Yeah. No, Fincher's a solid filmmaker, and seeing him come back to Star Wars would be good. Every time somebody says Christopher Nolan, I say no, please. If you're going to get a filmmaker like that, get Fincher. I think Fincher's the better director tone-wise for Star Wars because Fincher understands human humor in a
I always
way.
forget that you don't like Christopher Nolan's work.
I love Christopher Nolan's work, but it's humorless. Um, I don't know. I love some of Christopher Nolan's work. I think he peaked with The Prestige. I think that's his best movie. I don't think he'll ever top it.
I
Um,
mean, all of film works to top the Prestige. It's so good.
it really is. It
It's
really
so
is.
good.
And when people tell me Oppenheimer is like somehow better, I'm just like, did we watch the same movie? Um, Oppenheimer's an interesting experiment in that Christopher Nolan worked well enough in the film industry to be able to blow that much money on such a an expensive biopic,
Yeah.
but like there's I don't know. The screenplay really bugged me in that movie. There's no subtext to it. Everyone says exactly how they feel
Right.
over and over and over again, and it drives me up the wall. The writing is just not my favorite. Um, and there's just no it's humorless. Like Batman Begins, watch Batman Begins and look at the moments where it's like David Goyer tried to insert humor into the script, and you're like, I see what you're trying to do, Goyer, but Nolan just doesn't know how to pull it off. Um, and it's just he just yeah, no, Nolan doing Star Wars would just be a mistake.
I mean, I think there's space for it because I feel like if we took that line of saying this person should touch Star Wars, this person shouldn't, this kind of Star Wars should exist, this kind shouldn't, we might have never gotten an Andor. You know what I mean? Like I think there's room for there to be a very different humorless version of Star Wars. It probably wouldn't be for everybody, but I think there's space for it.
Nah, I think humor is part of like what makes Star Wars though. That's part of the mix. Like even Andor is funny.
I mean, it has some moments,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying,
but I don't think Nolan's even capable of those moments.
ah,
Like I know Nolan isn't capable of those moments.
yeah, I don't know. Listen, he could grow. You don't know.
He's actually like I think that's the problem with him as a filmmaker is he's gotten more clout, so he hasn't tried to grow in that area. He's actually sort of like regressed.
You never
So
know.
so he doesn't like I've watched all of his movies since The Prestige, and The Prestige has a couple of those moments. Um and he doesn't swing for those fences anymore. He just stays away from them because I think he knows he's not good at them.
I don't know. I think that's a lot of assumption.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm just saying, I think there could be space for a Nolan Star Wars film. I mean, we're talking about theoretical things that are not really on the table at all. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I do not feel like I would ever dictate what Star Wars should be or could be because that's not my job. And also that, there's someone out there for whom a Nolan Star Wars film is their dream come true.
You know what my dream come true is like you said earlier, I don't know, after watching Frankenstein
It's a
and I
Guillermo
need
del
to
Toro
see it.
Star Wars movie.
Yeah, after seeing I want to watch it again so bad. I can't wait. I want to see it on the big screen again, but I might just have to wait to see it on Netflix on the 7th. But like, yeah, Guillermo del Toro doing a Jabba the Hutt underworld movie is what I need. I want that. Just put it in my veins.
Yeah, 100%. Sold. Sold. I will buy the ticket today if they want to go ahead and announce it.
They could, yeah, the kickstart it. Like, let
I,
Lucasfilm just kickstart it.
I
I'd do
will
that.
I will literally buy the AMC little what did they call premium pass where you can go to that one movie over and over and over.
Guillermo del Toro is one of those
Oh, that was
filmmakers.
a Regal, wasn't it? That was not AMC, it was a Regal.
He's one of those filmmakers. I'll go see anything he does. Doesn't matter.
Yes, 100%.
Have you
100%.
seen Frankenstein yet?
No, I have been too busy trying to get ready to go out of town because all of my shows have to have episodes in the can for me to be
Oh,
gone for 2 weeks.
holy Lord, Holly, you're
So
going to
all I do
love
is
it.
Oh, I know. I'm going to pee my pants. I want to see it so bad. And also, it hasn't played anywhere close to us. Like you would think Atlanta would have a bunch, but all of the theaters are in the deep suburbs and they're all on the other side of Atlanta from us. So it's not like, oh, I can pop down to the theater and see it and like it will take, 3 to 4 hours of my day. It's like a hike. It's like, oh, that's an hour drive there and an hour drive back and then the length of the movie and like there has not been time to do it. So
Oof. I'm sorry.
me too. And now I gotta be in another country when it comes out on Netflix, and I won't get to see it until the middle of the month. So everybody be kind.
Well, fortunately, the book is 200 years old, so it's not like you're going to have many spoiler
I do
chances.
know the story, but
Yeah.
you know, you know.
Well,
Give me that modern Prometheus, baby.
aside from French Morocco, where can people find you?
I won't only be in Chef
I know.
Schman. We're going all over. We're gonna go to Fez, so I'll see some Dial of Destiny filming locations for a minute. But I am on Instagram, it's Surly Girly 5. I'm on Blue Sky, but I've been kind of quiet over there. Honestly, I haven't been very busy on social media. The current state of the world has left me a little bit with a case of the blues, and I don't love being on social media right now. I think I posted a raccoon video last night, so that's happening on occasion. Um, yeah, but those are the places. And then Stuff You Missed in History class keeps on going. I am also still working on The Unbelievable with Dan Aykroyd on History Channel. I think this week as we record this, what would that be? The six, something like that, is an episode that I'm in. And then forgetting something, but you'll find me. There I am. Sneak up on you when you're not ready. Hello.
Um, as
I'll
for
just
me,
tap you on the shoulder and hand you a drink.
I, it's happened. Um, as for me, you can find me at
Bryan,
Swank.
try this. Shh.
Um,
Sorry, I keep interrupting.
no, you're okay. As for me, you can find me at swankmotron.com or on social media at swankmotron. Um, I've got I'm really excited about like I published a short story that one of the short stories I'm most excited about that I've ever published in the literary journal for the Kurt
Nice.
Vonnegut Jr. Museum and Library. So it goes.
Amazing.
Yes, so that just came out. So you can go to their website and check that out.
Congratulations. That's
Um,
cool.
I've been submitting every year for like the last five, and I finally got in.
Nice.
Um, so that was super exciting.
That is
Um,
exciting.
and then as far as Full of Sith goes, you can go to fullofsith.com and check out our entire back catalog of episodes, of which we have more than 700 releases. And you can send us an email at holocron@fullofsith.com. We'd love to hear your responses or read them as it were. And be sure to rate and review the show wherever it is you listen to it. And unless you think there's anything else, Holly,
I think you have ably covered all the bases, sir.
then for super producer Mike Pilot, for Holly Fry, I'm Bryan Young, and the Force will be with you always.
Sir, if you'll not be meeting me, I'll close down for a while.